So you think we should have a professional intro?
Yeah, this is supposed to be our professional intro.
So I'm just picking from the. It's. I should have a hat and with little bits of paper in it, and metaphorically just go into it and pull out the next subject. But I haven't. I've got a list on the screen over here to the side. So I'm going to pull this word out because I think this is a really interesting word. Um, Anger. Ooh,
Like anger.
ooh.
I'm glad
Anger,
you spoke. Go on.
interesting one. Anger's an interesting one. Go for it.
Well, no, you're like I know a lot of you're gonna have loads to say because obviously a lot of your backstory is about dealing with anger. I mean, anger's something. I think anger's a really good emotion, and I think as a society with men, it's seen as more acceptable to a point, and then but equally then it can get us in a lot of trouble. With women, it's kind of seen as less acceptable, but when they do express it, they're like kind of labeled as crazy. But I think anger's really healthy and appropriate. And for me, in my own healing journey, and I say healing journey, throwing up a little bit in my mouth because I hate the term, but I use it because I know people relate to it. In today's society, even those who don't really have much to heal from, but we all like to feel sorry for ourselves. But I I think in spiritual in the spiritual stuff, the more modern day stuff, anger's kind of frowned upon. You shouldn't be angry. Oh, you need to let it go. But I actually think anger's the kind of the tunnel, the pathway to being able to let go when you've been through shit. Like I say to a lot of people in the talks and the work I do, that when things go wrong or when people block you from having what you should have, the love and care and
Yeah.
having your emotional needs met. When that is denied, especially as a young person, like anger is fucking appropriate. You should be pissed off. Yet, I think when I first started my healing journey, I
Do you need me to get you a bucket?
yeah, I tried to go straight to forgiveness. I was like, oh,
Mm.
these people did me wrong. I need to forgive them. And for a while, I kind of felt like, oh yeah, this is all right. But it wasn't. It was like inside of me. It was like a volcano eating away at me, just ready to erupt. I don't know why a volcano would eat me, but it was ready to erupt. And I can just, it just didn't feel right. And I feel like a lot of this forgiveness stuff and anger's frowned upon when actually what I needed to do. And I remember like revisiting the situations in my life, not every single one, but ones that particularly upset me. And feeling sad, but feeling angry. I was angry as well. Like I need to be no, no, I need to be like, fuck you, that was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, and I'm sorry I'm swearing so much, but that was how it generally felt. I remember being like, what do you want to say? And I was like, no, I want to say, I can't believe you did that. That's really shit. You literally abused me, you neglect me, you made me feel like crap, you denied me what I needed, and you weren't there for me. And I was angry, and I should have been angry, but like I was instead, for ages I was trying to like be like, oh, actually, it's okay, but I need to be angry first. Now, I haven't got to the forgiveness stage, and actually, I've learned that you don't need to get to the forgiveness stage. You don't need to forgive other people for what they did. You need to forgive yourself for wishing they had behaved differently,
Mm. Yeah.
because that's natural, especially when it's parents and stuff. We like,
Yeah.
oh, and we
Yeah.
or forgiving ourselves for hoping that they would change, because actually people won't change for anyone unless they want to. So I actually think anger is really healthy, and I actually encourage everyone to like, how do you really feel about that? When I'm working, I'm like, well, how do you really feel about that? Is that like, they because often when it comes to family in particular, we're torn, aren't we? We're told that blood is thicker than water, which we know isn't true. I can't remember the actual quote. It's the other way around. Um, but we're told that we should love our family no matter what. It's unconditional. But I'm like, well, no. If your family treat like shit, then you should be angry. If someone's done you wrong, then you should be angry. Why would you feel okay? Why would you be like, oh, it's okay? Thank you for sexually abusing me. thank you for doing all this. And I know that's quite triggering for people, but like, you wouldn't do that. Thank you. It's okay. Don't worry. It was all part of a lesson. Everything happens for a reason. It's all bollocks. You should be angry, like, fuck you. Now, of course, you don't want that to define everything that happens in your life. And
Mm,
anger can be really positive in the sense that you can use anger doesn't have to destroy you. You can actually go, no, fuck you. I'm so angry at you. I'm going to prove to you that I'm not going to allow what you did to me to define the rest of my life. I'm going to show you right now that I can do something better. And actually, so therefore, I think anger is really good. And I actually look back on it and think I probably said stuff like a few years ago, like, "Oh, we don't need to get angry. Let it go." But no, anger's good. It just as long as we're not directing it in the wrong way, as long as we're not taking out on people who are innocent in the situations that have caused us harm, as long as we're not punishing ourselves with it. And anger,
mm,
you don't get punished through anger. You get through expressing anger. You get punished through repressing anger. There's loads of research now, isn't there, that says that anger, actually holding on to anger and repressing and suppressing our anger, cause leads to like high blood pressure, hypertension, things like that. Things that basically heart disease that's going to kill you.
yeah.
So all these people are going, oh, I never get fucking angry. Yeah, I just forgive and forget. You're like, fuck you. You're going to die before me. Anyway, I went off on one there because I got quite angry about talking about anger and people's perceptions of anger. But
Yeah, but I'm not angry that you did that, so it's okay. It's interesting, and I love your because you've got that personal experience and also you've got the clinical experience as well. And one of the things which people come and talk to me about is their anger because I've been open about my anger journey. Um, and my anger journey was me using anger to express myself to a world because I was 14 years old and I didn't know what else to do.
mm,
And I mean, so many years where I thought that it was wrong, but I couldn't do anything about it. It was the only way I could express myself and the only way I could be seen. And when I started to look at it and be present with it and really work out what was going on, it wasn't just anger. Anger was the bit on the surface. That was the bit which everyone saw. It was frustration, it was sadness, it was loss, it was not being heard, not being
yeah,
understood. And the beautiful thing for me about anger, and I went through that whole pattern of disassociation with anger. And my pattern of anger was there would be something would happen, I would respond to it in an angry way, and then I'd disassociate so it wouldn't happen again because I was so scared of what might happen. And I know when I realized that I had the choice to be in control of that emotion, not stopping the anger, but by going, yeah, okay, the anger's there, what do I want to do with it instead? How do I want to express this? What's really going on when I kind of pick out all the stuff, what's
mm,
going on underneath? That I did actually have a period where I dissociated and went, no, I don't feel anger. No, I don't get angry at all, and realized that was a really shit strategy because what
mm,
happened was I didn't feel any emotion. So if I can't feel anger, I also can't feel joy or happiness.
mm,
Can't feel sadness. I can't feel curiosity. All of these other emotions. So you have to be able to feel something. And it's been really interesting. And I remember having a conversation with someone very close to me who witnessed a lot of my anger over the years. And they're amazing and they tolerated it, which is both a good thing and a bad thing because they gave me space to be angry, but they didn't hold me accountable for it. And that meant I could go, oh, everything is fine. I can just break things and then disassociate, and then we'll be back to normal and all will be forgiven. But what was interesting is that they labeled me one day. They said, you're just an angry person. And I turned around and went, actually, that's bullshit. That's bullshit because anger is an emotion and you can't label me as an emotion. It's something which I show and you display it, and there's other emotions as well. And that was the moment where I went, this doesn't have hold on me anymore
yeah,
because now I can see the separation between who I am and how I behave, and suddenly behaving becomes a choice. And I love the fact now that I can say, and I mean I'm always very kind of particular with language around this. No one can make you feel anything without your permission is a phrase which gets thrown around. Now, can people do things which piss you off? I think
yeah,
people can do things which will definitely pull on your nuts. How you respond to that is always the key thing. There are things which will lead to you being triggered, but ultimately you get triggered by your experience, what you're seeing, and the sense you're making out of that thing. So for me, anger was a case of, no one can make me angry. I can be angry at something. What do I want to do with it though? How do I want to express it?
yeah,
How do I want to go? I mean, my route to anger before was, all right, I'm angry now. That door's coming off its hinges.
mm.
and we've talked kind of off recording about dad guilt and things like that because my kids witnessed that for many years, and it took me a long while to realize that actually I had control over that. I had the opportunity instead of the tail wagging the dog would wag the tail. And it's so freeing when you can say, yeah, I'm angry at that.
Mm,
But it's okay. I don't have to break anything. I can go off and say I'm angry about it and I can express it and it's all good. And just me expressing it is
yeah,
enough.
yeah. Acknowledging it and expressing it is key. It's interesting you talk about um, when people say no one can make you feel. It's anyway. It's like you choose to, and I'm like, no, that's not true. Like and because like imagine being a kid in Gaza right now, getting
Oh
bombs
yeah.
dropped on you,
Yeah.
and someone goes to, actually, it's not the bombs being dropped on you, by the way, mate. You're choosing to feel shit. And you'd be like, fuck off, mate. This is shit, and this is why, you'd be upset, you'd be angry, if shit's happening around you where your life's threatened and your needs have not been met, then emotions are going to be triggered in you
Oh
because
yeah.
your needs are not met, not because you're choosing which emotion to select. That's why what I loved what you said about how like you can choose how you express it. Now, obviously, like doesn't mean that again that we should be angry and then we should just bottle it up, because actually the right appropriate emotion for a kid in Gaza right now probably is to be like, fuck you, I can't believe you're doing this. I'm an innocent child living in this country getting bombs dropped to me right now in the name of self-defense. And I'm not trying to get political or pick sides because I know it's a complicated situation, but the way I see it is you don't bomb innocent kids or hospitals. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's you know, it how they feel is right. Your life is threatened, so why would you feel happy? Oh, so grateful. Think of all the things you do have. Oh, well, at least I have my sibling's limb that's over there that's been blown off. Let me hold that. Thank God I still have a part of them to remember them. I know that sounds really fucked up. They've said it, but that's how it sometimes sounds, doesn't it, with these people? But like anger is so appropriate, but that kind of getting to choose how we respond. When I first started, again going back to me first starting my again healing journey, um I it get that fitted with the narrative that kind of I was already okay. I built to kind of prevent myself from actually going where I needed to go to actually heal. So I've been a people pleaser myself, believing that I could live my life by controlling my emotions and therefore not reacting to them. So bottling them up essentially meant that I was just doing what I was already doing anyway. For years, I was
Mm.
just not expressing how I really felt. Just no, like I'm okay, I'm okay. So actually, this kind of spiritual kind of take on emotions and like sitting there like a monk who never gets upset, but then you're living away from everything that actually probably will make you upset. You know, it just worked. But actually, I realized again it was toxic. It was unhealthy for me because it was just enabling. It was just causing me to bottle it all up. So again, like if anger, when it comes to the emotion itself, I think it's amazing. And you again, you touched on this already. They usually say it's a secondary emotion, don't they? And it usually is because you get angry because something else, it's kind of got in the way of something. So maybe you feel sad because, for instance, a partner hasn't done this for you, so to because you're sad you get angry at them and you start having a go at them and that sort of stuff. But I think we need to be more okay with anger. We do as a society. I think we shouldn't. And from politically, from a society, I think the government doesn't like us to be angry. It wants us to be okay. Thank you for doing, thank
Yeah.
you for doing everything you've done. And when we express it, they just shut us down. They,
Yeah.
look at the protesting that they're trying to put limits on that. People are rightly expressing their frustration or whatever, about things not being how they probably should be. Um, and yet they try and shut it down. And so I don't think it's a socially acceptable emotion, or accepted emotion, I say. But I think it's one we should accept and actually go, actually, no, I can see why you're fucking pissed off, and that's okay.
Mm. So it's interesting when I think about my relationship to anger. There's definitely a feeling there of a fear and worry about going back to being the person I was before.
Mm.
even with all the work on the journey that I've done, there is still this, God, if I'm angry, then I've slipped back to this person who didn't have the best experience. But I know logically that's not true. And actually having a better relationship with anger is good. And you're right, anger is an amazing emotion. I mean, if somebody was threatening my kids, then I would want to access anger quite strongly and you know and God help them if they did come and try that, because I would access it. I now have this really interesting feeling of, yeah, there's a fear and there's a worry there. I'm glad I don't disassociate from it. I'm also quite pleasantly pleased that it's there, that I know that it's there. I know that there's some of that emotion, but also I like the fact that when I do feel anger, I go, cool, feeling anger.
Yeah,
That's angered me. And I think, going to the stuff we talked about around Gaza and what's going on in the world, we should be bloody angry.
yeah. And I love the way you just said that when it comes up, cool, welcome, you're here now. I think that's how we should be with all emotions. Like,
Yeah,
okay, cool,
yeah,
you're here right now. What's going on? What's this trying to tell me? Again, does the emotion itself isn't the problem. The stories can be, like, if we're like creating these weird stories that aren't actually necessarily factual. But if we can welcome our emotions, go right, you're here now. I'm going to feel it. The key being feeling it, not necessarily like the behavior that comes with it. I think it's so helpful. Like, and I honestly think for when it comes to well-being and stuff, like, I don't think it's all about feeling all your feelings because it's not practical, but being okay with how we're feeling and recognizing actually it's okay to feel how we feel. Again, the cliche, it's okay to not be okay. I think we need to be actually going, actually, yeah, you know what? This has happened and I'm upset about it. I'm pissed off about it. And I'm going to sit with that and I'm annoyed with it. And maybe I will express it because I should, you know, but I'm not going to go beat someone up or on the opposite, suppress it with like by necking a bottle of vodka or,
yeah,
I'm going to just allow myself to sit with that and acknowledge that this is shit right now and I'm pissed off about it. No.
yeah. And you can't get angry about that, really, can you?
Well, no, it's just, I mean, again, that sounds more spiritual, but it is just kind of an energy, isn't it? Really, it's just, when you get angry, you're like, oh, that's fucking right. Yeah, come on, you bastards. And you want to do something with it, don't you? So, but what you can do, it can either destroy you or you can use it to create something good. And usually, I think when we kind of really get in touch with what the anger's there for, what's really behind it, what the need was, that what has been the need that we wanted to get met but hasn't, or has been denied being met, and we start thinking, okay, well, how can I meet that need ourselves, or who can I reach out to help me get that need met? Then we can start to use that anger in a positive way. But that doesn't mean we need to say anger's bad. It just means let's just use it in a constructive way.
There we go. That's all you need to know about anger for the moment. And there's bound to be lots of things that we think we should have said when we stop recording and go to the next subject as well. But
Always.
yeah, we'll see you in the next one. So you've been listening to Alex and Dave, and we couldn't actually think of a way to finish off each episode. So Alex is doing his version of Careless Whisper for your listening pleasure. But if you've enjoyed today's episode and you like Alex's musical interlude, then come and tell us. You can find us online somewhere. And if you like what we do, 5-star review would always be good. And share the love.